Okay, today again, it's a very beautiful day, and we are talking about the business in the art industry. I'm Jordan, and today I'm privileged to be with someone who is into the business of art, but again, multi talented. Someone who has done this for a couple of years. I will not just do that for myself to introduce him, but let him get to tell us about himself. Welcome on the show.
Thank you, Mr. Jordan. Hello, people. My name is Phila Kaweesa. I'm married to one wife and I have 3 sons. No girl.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so we are getting started. I think I've known you for a couple of years,
Yes,
and it's
Jordan.
because of what you do both in the music industry and art.
Yes, man.
So, who is Phila Kaweesa?
Phila Kaweesa, in simplicity, is a representative of heaven.
Amen.
In others, I'm a servant of God. Yeah. Because I do art, I do music, but the main thing is to serve God and glorify God in each and everything that I do.
Okay.
That's why when painting, I don't paint nude ladies. That type of art is good, but as for Phila, I don't do it because it doesn't bring glory onto God.
Very true.
Yeah, that's Phila.
Yeah, so in there, I know you as someone who has done music, but let's get started with art as we are getting in there.
Yes.
So, with art, when did you begin or when did you start? Give me the journey, take me through.
Number one, art, I was inspired. How did I get? I've always loved art. Even when I was at university at Nkumba, I was doing IT.
Okay.
But I spent most of my time at university at the place of art.
Okay.
That's why most students think that I did art at university, which isn't true. But then, S6, I was a very good artist.
Okay.
But the fact that I didn't do it at university, because my dad, we had arguments with dad. He was like, no, since you have the talent in art, you just go for IT.
Okay.
Because IT was everything those days.
I see.
It was the trending thing. So after getting disappointed, the fact that I didn't do it at university, I decided to drop it.
You dropped it.
It was till 2017 when I visited a brother of mine called Collins.
Okay.
There at Lubowa. He sleeps in Lubowa Estate. When I visited him, I found him with a painting of a lion.
Okay.
And I told him, but then I could do better than that artist. Though the painting was good, but I thought I could do
So
better.
you wanted to challenge him.
It wasn't a challenge.
Okay.
It was more of an inspiration.
All right.
Yeah, man. So we had a little argument because he had never seen me do art. He was like, no, Phila, you can't paint. Then I told him to buy the brushes and buy the paintings for me so that I could prove my point right.
So to just cut you short, the inspiration starts from there, or it was already before that?
I loved art, but then I never thought that I would be a painter someday. In fact, I never thought that I would paint your face someday.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
So it means you can paint anything.
As for now, I can paint anything. Yes, man.
So for how long then have you done this?
From 2017.
To 17.
Yeah, man.
So in there, do you do art now as a form of like a business, or you just do it as passion with yourself?
At first, I never knew that it could earn some money. But after painting that guy's picture, he posted it on Facebook, and there was this white dude who sent me a text that, Phila, could you paint a lion of these colors? It was an Lyrics lion, a lion with multicolors. I was like, yes. But then I had never done it. So I went and spoke to my wife. I told her I need to hire someone who's better than me because I've never painted this.
Okay.
My wife told me that, Phila, you will paint it. I took some studies onto YouTube. I saw how they use those colors. And I painted the lion, and the guy gave me $100 from YouTube.
It's just where you had to get started.
True, that's where I got my lessons in portraiture. In fact, from even other Ugandan artists, but then through YouTube, through internet.
So it means you didn't just waste time to wait to get in class and then...
I've never gotten class. I've always gotten my class through YouTube and looking at other people's art. Of course, Emma's introduced to a few artists that I always follow up on Instagram and check their brush strokes, stuff like that.
It means many people are sleeping out there, because when I look at the majority, if they've not done art at maybe university, maybe college, it's like they can never do it. But it means there is power in doing research on internet.
Yeah, man, there is so much stuff on internet nowadays.
So someone can
So we
just
don't have
study
any
from the comfort of their sitting room or bedroom.
You can
No need to get a lecturer.
just put on MBs, sketch your Instagram. There is so much information onto Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, man, if you use it right.
Okay. So, what kind of art do you do?
I love realism. I love realism. What do I mean by realism? It's painting something as it is. Like if I painted your face, I want to paint you as you are. It's not abstract art. It's realism. Real.
Real.
Yeah, man.
It's something real. So, okay, in that, so what inspires you to do that kind of like art? Because I believe there are many other types, or maybe in there that other people get to do. So, what inspires you to do realism?
What inspires me to do realism? It's easy to understand. Even for a layman who doesn't understand art, once I paint your face, people will know that that's you. Other than abstract, because abstract at times it's complicated for people who are not artistic in mind. It's hard for them to interpret. But for realism, it's very easy for everyone to know that this one is a good painter. He has the talent or he doesn't have. Yeah, man, you don't play around with it.
All right. So in the, what is your breakthrough in the art industry, and you feel like, yes, I think I can do it. I cannot give up on this. So what's your breakthrough?
Honestly, my breakthrough is painting perfectly. When you paint something and it's appreciated, I paint your face and it doesn't have to take years for people to realize that it's you.
Yeah.
Then that's my breakthrough. When I paint stuff
and it do this every day to perfect your hands on maybe art pieces.
Yeah, I spend most of my time painting even through the night. Because nowadays with this quarantine stuff, I decided to put my workshop at my place where I sleep.
Wow.
So sometimes I decide to paint till 2 in the night. Yeah, of course, when I get onto the canvas, I don't want to leave it because I've already mixed colors and I can't remix them again. I might mess up a little and don't bring the real. Yeah, man.
So, what's the deeper inspiration? Does maybe you say you're a family man?
Yeah, man.
So, does maybe your spouse or your wife helping once in a while? Does she chip in to?
Oh, yeah, my wife has a good eye. She has a good sense of music and a good eye for art. So if she tells me, Phila, that's not a good painting, I don't take it for granted. Sometimes I can even delete the whole process and get back again onto it.
So it's about practice, not giving up.
Yeah, man.
And then in there, what does your whole art speak out to the society? I mean, what you do. How do you relate this to the society? Yes, it's real. I've heard it, but how does it? What picture do you paint out there when you're telling a story?
Honestly, most times I normally paint for customers. It depends on what the customer gives me. Because if a customer gave me to paint his or her portrait, I would be just painting that person's portrait. But determining the topics, it's when I paint my own stuff. When I paint mine, most times I normally want to paint about the heavens. One time I remember I painted Jesus Christ with his eyes so bright, trying to bring out the scriptures. In others, it's the light of heaven. So I wanted to portray that in the eyes of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Now, like for these particular paintings, these ones I'm painting for a project called My 360 Project. They give out shoes. Okay. Yeah, in places of need.
Oh, so it means you're working with a team and then you showcase something beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so let's look at this. So what's the idea behind this kind of like maybe art piece?
As for this particular one, I call it helping hand.
Okay.
Yeah. You see, this particular person has humbled him or herself just to dress up this little child. Okay. Yeah, it's humility.
Humility. So it means for every art piece, there is a message.
Yeah, there is a message
in every art. You just don't picture out or draw anything.
No, man.
Any artist you've worked with in the country in terms of like artwork and all this?
Honestly, for art, like I told you, my lessons come from YouTube. Okay. Instagram. I haven't worked with any artist, but at least there are artists that I appreciate. Like our Ugandan artist, there is the Wamala art. I follow him up a lot. There is Hat Max, he's a great artist. Okay. And also other people from Australia like Andrew Tixler. Multiple artists, lots of them.
And then what are the common materials you get to use in the art industry?
Honestly, people use lots of materials for art. Okay. You can even use this mud to create something, even the sand of the sea. Haven't you ever seen those kids that sketch stuff onto the sand?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you can use clay. But as for me, I'm specific in my art. I love painting. And I've always loved painting. I'm not so much into sculpture.
Oh.
My desire is to paint.
So in there, you just try to give us some different types of art. Maybe I do not know, and someone who is out there watching,
Ooh.
they're not sure because also I don't know what are the types of art that we have.
There are many types of arts. There is sculpture. There is abstract art.
Okay.
There is visual art. Then there is realism. Then there is hyper-realistic art.
Okay.
Hyper-realistic art is beyond realism, is beyond what I do. Those are art pieces that take a whole year when a person is just painting this
one piece.
One piece. But to bring out each and every detail on that particular piece. Yeah, man.
Do you have people who have done that kind of like artwork in Uganda before? Whereby it takes a year and you're sure that it's going to be a piece to sell worldwide?
I think so far I've seen 3 guys that could do it. I haven't seen their pieces in hyper-realistic art, but I know they have the power to do it. Okay. And they have the creativity and the skill. There is the Wamala art, there is Quizera, and then there is this other guy called Artmax.
Okay.
He does visual art, but I believe he could even do an hyper-realistic piece of art.
Okay, that's very good. So in there, what role does now art do in our society?
Art is more like music. It educates. You can educate people through art.
Okay.
You can... I've run out of words, honestly.
Okay, so in a few words, as we are getting to summarize about art, because I want to get into also the other side of music, and I know.
Yeah, man.
So in a few words, how do you get to tell us about what you do in terms of like art? And for people who are out there and who are watching, how would you encourage them?
I would encourage people to bring out those skills that are hidden into them. There are some skills that you have, or some giftings, but you can never know that you have them till you try. Till you step out of your comfort zone. Because honestly, as for my HSC, I never studied anything about painting human faces.
Okay.
I learned it by myself, and it's just in 2017.
All right.
And trust me, I've earned something from art. Because I get commissions from portraits.
Wow.
And people give me almost in a week, I pay at least, the least that I paint, at least 2 portraits.
At least in a week?
Yeah. And that's the grace of God.
Wow.
I don't know, maybe it's because of the music that has introduced me to those people as an artist, as a painter.
Yeah. Maybe there could be some percentage. You never
know. But then people have appreciated the art, and I never knew that I had it. So you need to step out of your comfort zone. Some of you could even be singers with your beautiful voices, but still singing inside your bathroom and house.
Yeah, now you being multi-talented, how does maybe this get started? Can we say anyone can be an artist?
Of course, it's not for everyone. But I know God is a very creative God, and He created us in unique ways. People can be artistic in different ways.
Okay.
Let's say like decoration for weddings. That's also art,
yeah.
Because it's creativity. You're trying to create something that is not there.
Okay.
When it comes to spraying cars, you might not be good at the brush or sketching with pencils, but then you have particular designs that you can apply on vehicles.
That's so all this is art.
Yeah. Okay. Even cutting those, cleaning up the grass and
compounds.
I believe that's all part of art. So you just have to discover which particular area
you can do.
Yeah, man.
Okay. All right. So here we are getting started now to the music career.
True.
10 years ago.
Yes, man.
Or more plus. That's
more
what
plus. Plenty of years into music. Yeah, man. I started it straight from school.
Okay.
Imitating people like Buju Banton. Like I told you, I started from the secular world.
Okay.
I started with Buju Banton, Keplitan, Sizzla, those artists you've never heard of.
So that's the reason why we are singing the reggae sector.
Yeah, man. Hardcore reggae artists.
In Uganda currently, I don't think we have any
and a
gospel.
True representative, a royalist.
Very true.
Of gospel reggae music.
Yeah, so in there, for how long have you done this also as well? As a music, looking at music?
For music, it would be a lie if I counted the years. Because like I told you, I started it from school with that guy called Benon Mogumbia of Swangs. so kati tukuze mu music. Twatandika ne Benon in Deje Secondary School.
Wow.
Then he went to Namasagali. Then I went to Naja High. But then proceeded with my music. But I think I started recording around something like 2005.
So how did you get now into the gospel industry? Now, because you started like from the other side practicing. So how do you get into the gospel? What's the turning point?
The turning point is the visitation my brother got. Because at our house we used to listen to so much reggae, secular reggae. It's still my brother Isaac, who's a pastor now.
Yeah.
He gets this vision when someone was telling him that, why do you people worship that small god Selassie?
Oh, Selassie is a god.
Yeah, some
The
Jamaicans take him
reggae-
as a god.
Oh. Okay.
They take him as a representative of Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
So as I look at the entire family, you all look to be artists. I've
Yeah,
seen
man.
Richie, I've seen Isaac, and also you guys, Rachel. So what's the push, or what's that pushes you guys to be like, no, let everyone try out their talent, but in singing,
It's God-given.
God given.
Yeah, man.
You just don't wake up.
There is
and
something
do-
new that you can't deny. Yeah. A song that would take you a whole year to write, it can take me 20 minutes.
Wow.
Like for Zion Dot, I wrote it for, I think it was 30 minutes. Then I wrote another popular secular song. By then there is a secular song that I wrote, it was called Contagious. But it took me like 20 minutes.
So can I say that you've done this with okay, did you start your career with Kingsley? Because I remember way back you were like a duo.
No, I started with a group called RPZ. There was a guy called Francis Reggie. Then there was Isaac, my brother. Yeah, we were called RPZ.
Okay.
But then afterwards we dropped that. I went on to a solo career. That's when I found Kingsley.
All right.
Yeah, man.
So how do you describe the kind of genre you do?
Reggae music is food for the soul.
Okay.
It's the sweetest music. It has the best rhythms. We have the best writing.
Okay.
Via writing, no one can beat us.
So it means
has the best
it
message.
comes from the inside. It's not just like
Man, I can't. With reggae music, you don't lie. It has to come in the inside of you.
okay.
Everything that you write, you have to have experienced it.
Can you say this is related also with the art? Can we say also reggae music is like also art?
In fact, most reggae musicians are artists, are painters as well.
Is there any secret behind that?
Only Jah knows.
All right. So anyway, who would you want to work with, or whom have you worked with in Uganda when we look at the gospel reggae industry, or not only just reggae, just with the musicians we have in the country?
Musical, I would love to work with lots of artists. We have a collabo coming up with JK Shine.
Okay.
There is another lady called Jacinta.
Okay.
I've worked with Holy Kinamoti. I love to work with everyone that is good.
All right.
It doesn't have, you don't have to be so big for me to work with you, because I'm a person who appreciates also young talent.
All right.
Even the young ones, I love to work with them, so long as they are talented and they know what they are doing on the beat.
Okay. So do we have like any upcoming projects in your?
Plenty of music,
You've been quite far.
because I had withdrawn, but then Jah, Christopher,
Very
I and I,
You have to do something.
the Almighty,
Oh man.
told me that, Phila, you have to get back.
Okay.
I don't know what mission he has for me, but I'm back into studio.
Oh wow.
And trust me, the songs are massive.
So do we see also an inspiration, despite being from God, the family pushing you, the wife pushing you?
Musically? Musically, I'm inspired by day-to-day life.
Okay.
Yeah,
Whatever
by
you
what
see.
I see. Of course, the political, I don't sing so much about politics, but I touch it a little and relating it to the scriptures.
Yeah, actually, in that, today we have even many artists, whether gospel or in the secular, they're trying to join politics. Do you have an ambition for that?
Honestly, I don't know. Pastor Smart will first have to prophesy onto me.
Would you want to
I don't want to be a politician.
You don't want?
There is so much dirt into it. But it's good for born-agains to come and join.
Yeah, because I feel like they can come and twist the game. What is
Yeah,
that?
you have to twist the game, but you have to maintain that.
Name or
You
purity?
have to make sure that you don't forsake the voice, the inner voice of the Spirit of God. That's the only problem. When born-agains join, most of the times, not even just born agains, even pastors,
Yeah.
they make lots of blunders.
So it's like you stumble.
They start from good, then to something there in the middle, then
Then
to
they lose it.
man.
All right. So in there, I think people who are listening, they're being inspired. And then I can say now, to get to sum up this, with what you're doing in terms of art, in terms of music, what encouragement still can you give to someone? Because you're multi-talented. You have these things that you do, and how do you juggle them, by the way? With music, with art, how do you put them all together? And which one brings in income?
Art brings in income.
How about the gospel music?
But even gospel music, once in a while, sometimes you could get these big trips. They could call me to Burundi.
All right.
That's a paying trip. But that doesn't mean me as a musician, I'm freestyle. Because like I told you in the beginning that I'm a minister of God.
Okay.
There are places they call me when I'm not going to be paid. But at least I've gone there to inspire someone and to serve the Lord.
Recently, we've been seeing different tours on media houses, on TV, whatever. I may not say their names. Are you being paid for those?
Honestly, TVs pay here.
Or it's just ministry?
It's just ministry. I'm there to inspire. I'm speaking in young people's lives. God has called me for a young generation. Because now I've grown into years. I'm 37 years of age. Yeah, that means there is so much wisdom in this big head.
Okay.
And with this gray hair here. Yeah, man.
And as I'm finalizing, we've always known you for dreads way before. And we know reggae artists, many of them, they're inspired by that. And to cut them off, I don't know, whatever is always up there, we don't know. What inspires them to have that?
You don't have to dreads to be a Christian reggae artist.
Okay.
But it depends. As for Phila, I don't refuse people to grow their dreads. Because God uses us in different styles. There are people he has called with dreads because he has called you to a particular class of people. But then there are those who are not supposed to have them. And even though you try to grow them, the Spirit will speak to you and tell you that don't put on those dreadlocks. So it depends on what the Lord has called you to do.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
So how do you keep now these two talents, making sure you maintain them and they're moving? How do you do that?
For music, number one, music is always there in me. Even when I'm not on stage, I'm always singing in my house. So it's always there. Even when I'm painting, sometimes I paint while singing or I paint while music is playing. But for art, it's more of a job. When work comes, work has come. Sometimes I paint inspirational art, but I hardly get into there. Yeah, because of my schedule. There are times when you're busy, you're up, and I have some other errands that I run that I normally don't talk of when I'm in interviews.
So in there, if maybe God came to you in a dream and he was like, choose between the two. Now I'm giving you either music or I'm giving you either art. What would you go with?
Honestly, music has taken me to places that art has never taken me to. Music has drawn me to people that art has never drawn me onto. Like I told you, it was music that introduced me to these people of 360 Project. It is music that took me to Europe, to South America, to East Africa. It has put me on your TVs. So, man,
so you
music is the thing. Eh?
You would go with music.
And in fact, it gives me more power to preach than even art. Yeah, man. So I'm a musician.
Okay, now, as I'm also just trying to bring this up. So do you also have a way whereby you are preaching through the art work, fusing it with music? Or have we seen some of the art pieces come into the music field that you do? Your own art pieces, and maybe you do like maybe a video and...
Like I told you, everything that I do it for the glory. Now, for example, just look at this piece.
Yeah.
I told you it's called Helping Hand. And in Galatians 5, what I think you know one of the is it called the giftings? The fruits, I mean, of the Holy Ghost.
Sure.
Humility, love. So this piece of art is preaching all that. Humility, it's preaching the whatever the fruits of the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, man. In everything that I do, I glorify God. I have to make sure I preach through art and I preach through music as well.
Okay.
But mostly I've preached through music. Because I've sung songs that have touched nations. Zion Daughter, Beautiful righteousness. It
favorite.
hit up to South America. Can you imagine
one,
that?
Even up to, yeah, sure.
Africa, Jesus. Njogere Chindeke, I've given you plenty of
You
music.
first give us an a cappella hymn that we want to just hear something from you.
Sometimes when you ask for a cappellas, I don't want to get into Luganda. I get into patois because it's patois that introduced me.
That's okay. I know.
So I simply said, champion woman, trouble come shenaron, ata fire she born, jalof she can done, husband and son all them at she won, good thing be she saw she no fi plant the corn, charm so deceitful and beauty will pass, but jalof will stand. Dr. Jara Goren, Labamot na good it a brain up a kias, but she bless every time. So you so not the right, right over wrong at the song where she sang when the youth banga rang last while in a gang. Byonna tobitegedde kuba ate wabisoma.
But anyway, I know whoever is watching, they've been inspired. I know for those who understand even the language, I know we shall get together.
Tebabitegeera. Naye Yesu abasaasire.
I mean, so anyway, so your last words to those who are watching you generally with whoever has a gift and they're out there and they feel like, yes, I feel like I have a talent in singing, I have a talent in art. But for me, even I cannot do either or any of the two. And for you now, you've done all you're hitting stages. When we talk of music, you're the top in your genre in the country. Now with art, you do it with your perfection. So just give them the last words and then.
The last words. Fena Katonda alina kyatuyitidde. Let me get into vernacular.
That's okay.
Kubanga Oluganda mbadde nalwo ndumisinga.
Amen.
Fena Katonda alina kyatuyitidde. Kati osooka ne weezuula number 1 kimukama kyampitidde. Ayinza okuba akuyitidde bingi naye always waliwo ekisukkuluma ku birala. Kati gw'olaba a very good interview, I don't think I can handle that. Okiraba naye mukama yakuyamba n'okizuula. Kati number 1 musooke mwezuule. Bw'omala okwezuula noonya engeri gy'oglorifyinga Katonda mu kirabo kyo. Kuba oluusi Katonda aleeta emikisa ng'akozesa ekirabo ekyo naye nga tekiyise na mu kirabo. Ekirabo kyo kibeera hook. Katonda na drawing a blessing onto you because of the gifting. Yeah. Like for example, Phila, there are lots of things that I've gotten not as a result of being paid for my performances. Naye ng'oli yakulabira ku music ate n'akuwaamu ekintu ekirala. Okiraba ekyo? Kubanga weewaddeyo okuweereza Mukama n'omuglorifyinga mu kirabo ekyo. Ekirala kye njo ngamba to the artists, the painters and the musical artists. Try to inspire these people under you. Don't downpress them. When a kid gives you the song to help him or her put it onto the radio stations, please help that little one. Kuba gwe ekyamazima okuze, time yo ne mu music eyinza okuba ng'egenda kuggwaako. Kuba Katonda si ye Katonda alemera mu line emu. Nga bwe nagambye every time and season, Katonda abeera n'omulimu gwakuwa. Mulimu seasons nti kati yimba nnyo ku stage buusabuusa abantu. Naye n'akukyusa nti ate kati ogenda kubuulira ku njiri. Ate kati it's the prophetic gift that is coming out of you. So please try to inspire the young generation. Help them. Tobateerayo kijji kya kubafiisa. Katuglorifyinge nga tusitula ne bannaffe. Mukama.
All right. I can't add more to what the big man has said. Otherwise, it's been a good talk. I didn't want to end the conversation, neither just interviewing him more and more. Catch us next time. You can follow us on all our social media platforms. Gospel Blaze TV, Gospel Blaze Network on YouTube, Gospel Blaze Network on Facebook, Instagram is just the same. Till next time.